And you know, when I came up tonight, I had so many people, they said, could you do us a favor? What? Could you talk the snake? You remember the snake? I used to use it on occasion, not often. Does anybody want to hear the snake? You want to hear it? The snake. The snake. The snake. And this has to do with our border. Wasn't meant to be for the border, it was meant to be for other reasons, but this has to be really what's happening to our border. And so many people said, please, please, you're going to Ohio. I don't know the fact that I'm going to Ohio, why they want to talk about the snake. But it's because of immigration, and it's because of the borders, and because Ohio sees it far better than most, don't you, huh? You understand what's happening? The snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you, to the snake. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up, all cozy in a comforter of silk, and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been fully revived. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried, but if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. It's, you know, it's the way it is. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. We're taking in killers. We're taking in all of these horrible people. Good people are coming in, but horrible, horrible people. Again, remember that term. They're emptying their prisons. And, you know, if you were heading those countries, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and many others, including Middle Eastern countries, by the way, that's how they come in. Remember the snake. In the Republican Party, we do not believe that violent criminals should be welcomed into our country with open arms. We believe that they should be promptly deported or put behind bars, and that's what I did during my administration at a level that nobody's ever seen. The radical left Democrats are doing everything possible to put your family in grave danger. I don't know if they're doing it out of naivete, or are they doing it because they think it's really good to have all these people coming into our country? But they are putting your family into a very, very bad position, releasing criminal aliens, defunding the police, abolishing cash bail. Look at New York, what's happened to our poor New York. Crime is through the roof. Never been anything like it. Murders through the roof. The police are doing so much, but they're not given authority to do anything more. They want to solve the problem. New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, they have great police forces. They're not allowed to do their job, and now they're all leaving. That's going to be a real problem when they realize we need them to help us, and they're not going to be there any longer. They all try and take away your guns, and that's what they're doing. And if you remember, when I was campaigning against Joe Biden, I said they're going to take away your guns. Your Second Amendment is under siege. And Chicago, which is the single most dangerous city, large scale, has the strongest gun laws in the country. They even say the strongest gun laws in the world. And yet people are being shot by the thousands every year. Worse than Afghanistan. How about that? Worse than Afghanistan, where, by the way, I started the process. All the troops are coming back home. They couldn't stop the process. 21 years is enough, don't we think? 21 years. They couldn't stop the process. They wanted to, but it was very tough to stop the process when other things are out. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a shame. 21 years by a government that wouldn't last. The only way they last is if we're there. What are we going to say? We'll stay for another 21 years, then we'll stay for another 50. The whole thing is ridiculous. So we're bringing our troops back home from Iraq. We're bringing the troops back home from Afghanistan. We brought them back home from Syria. Remember the thousands of troops we had on the border with Syria? Remember that? We had thousands of troops between Turkey and Syria. I said, wait a minute. This border's been here for 1,000 years plus. We never did anything. Now, why are we doing it? Sir, you can't do it. It'll be war. It'll be war. I said, our troops are in grave danger. You have two armies, and you have our troops in the middle. So I started bringing them home. And then we got down to 54 troops. And I said to one of the generals, who was a good general, he wasn't a woke general. Do you notice the woke generals we have? This was a real general. I said, we have 54 men from 5,000. We have 54 men on the border. Are they in danger? Said, sir, you have 54 men between two armies. They don't have a chance. They're going to be target practice. I said, get them the hell out. And everybody said, what a terrible thing he did. And you know what? That was 3 years ago, and nothing happened. They protect their own borders. Pretty amazing, right? Pretty amazing, but you'll never hear that from the fake news. Or many other things that turned out to be right. If you care about the security of your family, if you care about the safety of your community, if you care about law and order, look, law and order.